I'm Joan from M&Js Produce. Today's video is simply to let you know what we do when we're planting seedlings in the garden. So it's about showing you where we choose locations, what plants we choose, why we do it, and what we're then going to do is we're going to keep a video snapshot of the next 8 to 10 weeks on how these little seedlings progress in the gardens all over. Thanks.
Retrieving some compost for use in the garden beds. Just going to grab some quickly. So this is some compost that we've had going for a couple of months, I guess. It's not completely ready, but we just want to use it now. And on the whole, we'll find that it breaks down quite well in the garden beds anyway. So if we just have a look through here, we will see there is actually quite a lot of worms, and it's always good to have the worms in your garden beds. There is stuff in here that's not completely broken down. We can see some remnants of stuff that in a perfect compost wouldn't be here, but we want this compost today. Hey Joan, what you doing?
Getting rid of some of the stuff in the compost that's not quite broken down yet.
What's that?
Just getting rid of some of the stuff in the compost that hasn't quite broken down yet before we kind of go into planting our next lot. But it's pretty good compost. There's some nice worms in there, and just getting rid of some of the bits that, you know, just get in the way a bit.
Hey Joan.
Nah. Once we prepare the beds, we place the seedlings. We don't necessarily plant them, we'll just show you how to place them.
We've got a number of plants to plant out today, so at the moment what we've done is we've positioned them approximately where we think they're going to go. This one might be good here because of the height, this one here because of the sun. We've positioned them around here and within what's going to grow within this garden bed and what we think can fit within here and what we think is going to work here and what we think is going to work here. So this is a point right now where what will happen is Joan and I will walk around and we will say, what do you think is going to work and why?
We've now planted our plants and our seedlings, so now we're going to show you where we've placed them. Alright, so we're just planting the last of our seedlings now, and this is the last bed. So as you can see, there's been a fair bit of space between each one, and basically all you want to do is just find another little spot, dig it deep enough, pop it in there, try not to touch the roots too much, give it a nice good solid little base around it, and there you go. So that's that bed here. Over here behind Matthew we've got some new snow peas going in and some beans, and they'll climb up here like the snow peas are here hopefully. This bed's already done. We've got 2 new cabbage in this one. See how they go. We're next to a plant there that's been a little bit of grief for us. And in this one, which used to be the ginger bath, we've got cauliflower, cabbage, and a couple of the, can't remember what they're called. New lettuce over here where we pulled up the basil. Lots of lettuce, both butterhead, kohlrabi, and a wee bit of minion. That's it for today. Have a great weekend. 2 weeks later, we're going to show you where we're up to in the garden. It's been a fair bit of rain, nice sunshine during the day. I'll show you how the plants and seedlings have come along.
And now we begin the process of actually looking at how they've gone. So in this bathtub here, what we ended up actually planting here is some endive, and there's quite a decent amount of endive in here. We've put some lettuce, we've put some rocket, and we've put some kohlrabi. Now in terms of why we chose to plant what we did within here, this garden bed has grown lettuce previously, and the lettuce hasn't done that well. So it was a bit of a gamble putting the lettuce here. However, it's winter right now, and we think that part of the reason that the lettuce didn't do so well before, it did well but then it went to seed early, is because there was too much sun. So the hope is that this lettuce, this garden bed here, will be a better garden bed for lettuce over the winter. In this bed we only planted down this far strip here, and what we've planted here is Wombok, Wombok being a type of cabbage. The risk about the planting here is that these are too big and going to overshade them. But the way that we're going to get around that is we are going to be cutting these back quite a lot, especially in the first period of time until the Wombok gets some size, so that the sunlight can still work its way back to the cabbage. One other thing we just thought we'd mention, if you have a look down here, after trimming this, what we found actually is there's quite a lot of gaps here at the front section. It wasn't quite so obvious when all of the flat leaf parsley was growing over there. So we've just found another problem where we have some gaps in the garden, and we'll see what we do over the next couple of weeks in terms of filling these up. Garden bed is an interesting one. Now what we have planted in here is we've planted in some cauliflower and we've planted in some cabbage. But we've also planted in some stuff that we're not 100% sure what we planted. This one was definitely a kohlrabi. We thought we put some broccoli in somewhere. I guess the fact is this happens sometimes. Now, this one's an interesting one. If you have a look at this, you'll need to zoom in quite closely. You'll see this is an example completely opposite the endives, where we've planted 3 in the one hole. So I'll be interested to see how that one comes out over time. The other one that's worth having a look at, anybody, is you see mango seed, mango seed, mango seed, mango seed. Basically this entire bathtub has been planted in mango seeds. Now anybody who's been getting our mango chutney might understand why that is. But yes, we've started a garden bed this year in mangoes. Okay, we didn't plant much in this garden bed. That was already reasonably full. We only put in the 2 cabbage. However, it is always worth working out why. So we had been having problems with the basil before that was getting eaten. One of our thoughts was that maybe the insects in question were coming off here. So we've actually pulled some basil out that was in the back row to create a bit of a buffer, and we've put an alternative crop in. And interestingly, as we look at this basil now, it's absolutely thriving. Not too much to talk about here. Snow peas, planted, doing well, no issues. Tell me when. Okay, so, and then we planted the rest of our broccoli and other cabbages up the front here. The logic here being that we would have something that grows a bit shorter in front of the big tall snow peas. Obviously, if you look at these snow peas, you see we could be doing a bit more effort to get them lifted up in the air, and hopefully you will see that progressing over the future videos.
I hope you enjoyed that. It's been fun to see what's going on with these new little plants and seedlings over the last 2 weeks. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to give you an update to see where they are at then.
And we would love you to stay tuned and watch the future episodes as well. Thank you.
And Jane. That's for you.